You guys in the market for a cheap chainsaw? Got this one off Amazon for 260 bucks. It's a 62cc saw with a 22-inch blade. We're gonna have a quick look at it. Alright, welcome back to Fabbin Adventures, guys. We're shooting outside. It's finally spring, nicer weather, and it's nice to get out of the shop. But what we have here is a chainsaw I got off Amazon for 260 Canadian dollars for a 62cc saw with a 22-inch bar. That's pretty cheap. And I don't know what I can tell you about it other than it's supposedly a knockoff of a Japanese saw, a Zenoa or something like that. Don't quote me on that. I'm just kind of going off a little bit that I read. But it's cheap. It gets really good reviews. And I already put it together. I'm not going to unbox this saw and show you all the little parts and junk that comes with it. And it comes with a bunch of stuff like a face shield and gloves and your scrunch and whatnot. I just slapped it together, put the blade on it. We're going to pop some oil in this, some gas in it, and we're going to fire it up and see how hard it is to get fired up. It hasn't run or nothing. There's no gas in it or anything right now. So let's put some gas in this thing and get her fired up and cut some wood, and then we'll go through a little more on it. All right, let's have a look at this. I bought this saw because of the reviews that I seen on it and the reviews I read. But there is one other saw that's even cheaper, about the same size. I can't remember what it was called, but it was only 175 bucks. It was crazy cheap. Let's get some oil into this guy here. Some people are complaining about the size of this hole here. It's fine. It's not no big deal. You don't... Whoa! I didn't see it coming though. But it's not too small of a hole to get your oil in there. You just got to watch when it's coming up so you don't make a mess like I just did. The mess was definitely not because of the size of the hole. Put some gas into this guy. Try not to make a mess. There we go. She's full there. Spilt a little bit. The one thing I see already that I like about my other Chinese saw, which is a Neotech, is their gas tank is transparent. So you can see how much fuel you have left in here, whereas this one doesn't have that. There she is, fueled up, ready to go. Let's see what we got here. Bulb. Push the bulb. Pushes. See what happens here. Oh, that's pretty good. Let's see if it's like this still. Wow. Not bad. Not bad at all from bone dry. Starts running nice and everything. Oil pump appears to be pumping. Impressive. Let's let this guy idle a little bit. Give her a couple revs the odd time. And we'll go find some trees to cut. All right. We're going to use the provided face shield that they give us. Try it out. All right, so we did a little cutting here with the PCS, what was it? PCS62 Proyama. Fires up good, runs good, cuts okay. Of course, it doesn't have the power that my Neotech 872 does. It's kind of no comparison, but if you could still get this saw for what I paid for it, I paid 275 Canadian for, I would say this is a way better deal. But now, this saw is like over double the price, almost triple the price on Amazon from what it was. I bought the whole saw, the 28 bar, the chain for 275 Canadian. I paid 260 for this guy but it comes with 2 bars, 2 chains, and this little goofy face shield and whatnot. Still, I think the Neotech 872 is a better deal if you can get it at that cheaper price. And I think maybe on Neotech World, you can watch there for deals.com, I think it is. But this saw here has got rebuildable cylinders. You know, it's more of a pro style saw, and it's a 100% clone of the Stihl 380, I believe, 380 Magnum, 380, something like that. So any Stihl part fits directly on this thing. I mean, we broke this brake handle the other day in the back of the truck, and I got another one off Amazon for 25 bucks. But this video isn't for this saw. I wanted to bring it down here as a comparison. This is 72 cc's, this is 62 cc's. I want to show you a direct comparison power wise. Definitely more power with this saw. This one I just kind of was letting it do its own thing. I wasn't pushing it through. Of course, it's brand new. It hasn't even got a tank of fuel through it, whereas this one's probably got, what was it got? It's got 3.9 hours on it. I put a tachometer / hour meter because I want to see how long these things are going to last. And if you want to see a video on this, I'll put a link up here. Anyhow, let's get back to this. We're going to fire this guy up, cut a few here, and then we'll fire this guy up, cut a few, and then we'll just commence to cutting with this guy here for the rest of the evening. And then we'll do a little my thoughts on it. You can hear it 4-stroking a little bit, so it comes set up pretty good for your mixture. let's try the Neotech. What a difference. I could push that Neotech through, and that blade isn't even sharp. That blade's not even sharp. It's cut through some sandy logs at the river and whatnot, but let's continue to cut. Wow, what a power difference. That Neotech's way more powerful. So it would appear that I let it get too loose in the cut, and the chain stretched a little bit, and right when it was coming through, I grabbed a hold of the chain and pulled it off the bar. Can't say as I've had that trouble with any of my other saws, but I shouldn't have let it get that loose. I should have kept an eye on it. Probably no fault of the saw. But if it's an ongoing problem, then it very well could be a problem of the saw. It definitely feels a little more toyish than my Neotech, for sure. It appears to have derailed. There we go, I got her back in there. Let's have a quick look at, see how much fuel we burnt, just for kicks. Yeah, not even a half a tank. So, I mean, this isn't really much of a review with only having been burnt half a tank. You know, the saw is not even close to being broke in yet, and I haven't adjusted the low and high screws or nothing. It's right factory out of the box, and it cuts good. I mean, it's no powerhouse like the 72, but I mean, that's 10 more cc's of power. And my still, what is it, at MS170, I think it is. I think it's 50 cc's, and it's not running right now. There's something up with the carburetor or fuel system or whatever. But I would say it feels equivalent to the power of that saw, I would think. It's hard to do it without side by side, and it would be nice to have that saw running to be able to do a comparison, and I'll probably do that. I'll get that other one running, and then we can do a comparison. In the meantime, I'll run this saw more and kind of get it broke in more, and so I'll be able to report back on my thoughts on this saw. But initially, for the money, I think it would be a pretty good little homeowner saw. I mean, you're not going to want to go and cut your winter's firewood probably only with this saw. I mean, you're going to want something with more power like this here NS872 or a Stihl or Husqvarna or something a little better when you got to rely on your firewood. But for general yard work and woodwork and clearing up some of these trees that dropped, you know, something lighter is nicer to slug around than this guy here. He gets a little heavy. And what I wanted this is for a beater saw. It's going to go in my work truck, and you know, I work out in the bush, and if I go in and I check a well and I'm on my way out and there's a tree that had fallen across the road, you know, you got to either use an axe or a chainsaw, right? So I'm going to just have this chainsaw here in my truck as a beater saw. It can bounce around and whatnot. It comes with a soft case. And that's my plans for this here saw. Something I don't care if it bounces around, gets beat up and whatnot, and it'll get me out of a bind. And maybe it'll go in the jet boat, I don't know. But I got a little smaller saw that I use in my jet boat, just something small for little firewood around the campfire and stuff. But in general, I think it's worth the 260 bucks. I mean, with today's prices, the way prices of everything is going through the roof, you can't get much anymore for 275. And this little guy will do some work for you. I think it's worth it. You can't come close to buying even a Stihl MS170 for 275 bucks. I think I paid 400 bucks for that thing 10 years ago or more. I think I would buy it. I mean, stay tuned for more videos on this, because longevity, who knows, right? Who knows how long it's going to last. Maybe it'll be a good saw. Maybe it'll blow the piston. Who knows? As long as you keep good fuel mixture in there and whatnot, it should be good. Keep your air filter clean. Make sure there's no dust getting in there. That's one thing I heard, that dust does get into this filter. It's just a wee dinky little filter, and it's supposed to take like 1,000,000 turns to get this cover off. I seen a dude fighting with it trying to get this cover off, and it looks like I would be doing the same thing as fighting with it to get it off. Yeah, it's 1,000,000 turns. Yeah, see, the screw is right out, and oh, there we go. There we go. Yeah, look at that cute little filter. He's just a little fella. But let's see if any dust got in there right quick while I got you watching. We burn about a half tank through this. There better not be sawdust in on the carburetor. But now's a good time to check. Make sure this little fella's sealing. Clean as a whistle. Yeah, it's sealing just fine. Even on the inside of this little sealing lip, there's no dust. On the outside, there's dust. So it's doing its job. And I am going to continue to monitor that for you guys. So make sure you subscribe and like these videos. It'll help me put out more, and it'll tell me whether you guys are liking these sort of videos. Me personally, I'm a bit of a cheapskate, so I like cheap stuff like this. We are kind of supporting China a little bit, I think, with this stuff, which is a little bit unfortunate. But we just can't get cheap stuff these days in North America. cheap stuff with any quality. It's amazing that they can produce this saw for this kind of price. It makes you wonder if the big dogs, Stihl and Husqvarna, couldn't be making them a lot cheaper for us, and maybe competing a little bit with these guys here that are really they're really penetrating the market. There's a ton of videos of these cheap saws out there nowadays, and there's going to be the hardcore guys, the loggers and whatnot, that will stand by the Stihls and the Husqvarnas and you know, the bigger saws, the bigger brand names. But for the average Joe, he can't afford $1,000 or $1,500 saw just to cut some firewood for around the campfire, you know, around the yard, smoke some wieners or whatever. So I think that's where these are coming in. It would be nice if Stihl and Husqvarna could compete a little bit with these guys, and that's to be seen yet. But that's about all I've got to say for now. I think it's a pretty decent saw. It fired right up on the 4th pull. That's pretty awesome for a brand new saw, and it's probably going to get a little more powerful as I break it in. So anyhow, thanks for watching, you guys, and stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe, because I'll be showing more videos of this, showing more videos of my little mini excavator and some mods and accessories that I've been making for it, and updates on this 372 as it gets more hours on. It's got 3.9 hours. So stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe. We'll catch you guys in the next episode.